It's amazing what he's learned in 2 years, isn't it?
Good use of the lockdown.
That is a good use of the lockdown, right enough. Well, a very good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And a warm welcome to both sides of the border. Now, when I first put together this idea of both sides of the border, to raise funds for the community garden, people might have been forgiven for thinking that it was going to be an evening of songs about gardening. For example, how many gentle flowers grow in an English country garden? Well, that's the only reference to England for the rest of the evening. There's one song later on that mentions a garden in it. But both sides of the border, as you can hear, those of you who don't know me, I'm from Northern Ireland originally. Statement was the obvious if ever there was one. And both sides of the border this evening is really a musical journey through both parts of the island of Ireland. First half we're going to be in my native Northern Ireland, and then the second half we're going to visit the Irish Republic. So during the interval, please change your pounds into euros. Now we're going to start off in Belfast and end up in Dublin. Bit of a roundabout for a shortcut on the way, mind you. We're going to be all around different parts of the island. If you're actually travelling from Belfast to Dublin, it's much better just to catch the Enterprise train or drive straight down the motorway. You can do it in a couple of hours that way. But in a very short time, in comparison to that tonight, we're going to, as I say, travel through different parts of Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic. So, where did it all start then for me? Well, I grew up in a town called Carrickfergus, which is just on the outskirts of Belfast, on the shores of Belfast Lough. And when I was a boy and looked out my bedroom window, I used to see these two great yellow blobs in the distance. And they were the giant cranes of the Belfast shipyard. One is called Samson, and one is called Goliath. And this first song was really written from the perspective of a shipyard worker. We used to call them the island men in Belfast. And this man had reached the age of 70 and was looking back over his life. I sang this at a concert a few years ago, and somebody obviously hadn't listened properly to the introduction, and they came up to me afterwards and said, "You did really well for 70. I was 52 at the time, I wasn't flattered. So it's not about me, but about one of the shipyard workers. Unfortunately, since I wrote the song, the shipyard has gone into administration, but the good news is that Samson and Goliath had a preservation order put on them. So they're still going to be there in their rightful place in the Belfast skyline. So, without further ado, this is one of my own compositions, Belfast Shipyard. I live in Belfast City, on the east side of the bridge, where the bonny hills of Castlereagh meet the sky to form our ridge. I was just 14 when I left school, for I had to earn my pay. It was to the yard with the island men that I did make my way. Now I'm living with the memory of days that were my prime, when in the Belfast shipyard as a lad I served my time. It was there they built the liners that crossed the oceans wide, mighty and majestic, sailing on the surging tide. They knew their days of triumph and also tragedy. The great Titanic sank upon an iceberg in the sea. Now I'm living with the memory of days that were my prime, when in the Belfast shipyard as a lad I served my time. And so it was at welding that I was taught my trade, grateful for a part to play when those fine craft were made. The place saw great excitement, with shouts we would regale our ships that from the harbour into Belfast lock did sail. Now I'm living with the memory of days that were my prime, when in the Belfast shipyard as a lad I served my time. Shipbuilding fell into decline, times grew very hard, with rumours fast abounding of the closure of the yard. Then we received new contracts, we tried to rise once more, but we never found the glory that we'd had in days of yore. Now I'm living with the memory of days that were my prime, when in the Belfast shipyard as a lad I served my time. I've lived a life that's rich and I've reached 70, always thankful to have been one of the island men. But now I love to stay at home, grandchildren by my side, telling tales of those great ships that crossed the oceans wide. Now I'm living with the memory of days that were my prime, when in the Belfast shipyard as a lad I served my time. Thank you. Tonight feel free to clap your hands, stamp your feet, sing along, everything but heckle the singer. This next song is a street song from Belfast that we all learned as kids. In polite society they might say, "I shall inform my mother." In Belfast we say, "I'll tell me ma." I'll tell me ma when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They cut my hair, they stole my comb, but that's alright till I get home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please would you tell me who is she? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. Get up at the door, they ring at the bell, saying, "Oh my true love, are you well?" Out she comes as white as snow, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. Well, Johnny Morrissey says she'll die if she doesn't get the fellow with the roving eye. I tell me ma when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They cut my hair and they stole my comb, but that's alright till I get home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast. She is courted 1, 2, 3, please would you tell me who is she? Let the wind and the rain and the hail go high, the snow come travelling from the sky. She's as sweet as apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she is through. Let them all come as they will, for it's Albert Mooney she loves still. I'll tell me ma when I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. My hair and stole my comb, but that's alright till I get home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast. She is courted 1, 2, 3, please would you tell me who is she? Thank you. We move now out of the city of Belfast. Now, Belfast is built upon the River Lagan, and the Lagan starts off in the Mourne Mountains and it flows through various parts of County Down and County Antrim, and then of course it comes into Belfast Lough, and the city is built around that area there. The late Noel McMaster from Lisburn in County Antrim wrote some great songs. He was part of a folk group called Bakerloo Junction back in the 70s and 80s, and one of his songs was actually a tribute to the Lagan, and it's a much more gentle number than the last one. This is called My Lagan Softly Flowing. Early in the morning, the sun begins to rise, reflected on the waters, the movement of the skies. Slowly she flows onwards, disturbed I cannot see, through fields and rolling meadows, past local industry. My Lagan, she flows softly from Slieve Crib down to the sea, through Drumore and Drumara, then flows to Achilles. From Lisburn down to Hilton, Lambeg and then Shaw's Bridge, to Belfast salty waters, where her lonesome journey ends. The years pass slowly onwards, changes soon unfold. No more horses pulling, the barge is filled with coal. The old log gates have rotted, the pathways overgrown, but still I love to see her as slowly she grows old. My Lagan, she flows softly from Slieve Crib down to the sea, through Drumore and Drumara, then flows to Achilles. From Lisburn down to Hilton, Lambeg and then Shaw's Bridge, to Belfast salty waters, where her lonesome journey ends. Old memories, they are precious, and they are brought to life as you walk along the towpath in the evening's fading light. But even now the nightlife begins a brand new day, some ripples on the surface and a trout rolls on her way. My Lagan, she flows softly from Slieve Crib down to the sea, through Drumore and Drumara, then flows to Achilles. From Lisburn down to Hilton, Lambeg and then Shaw's Bridge, to Belfast salty waters, where her lonesome journey ends. Young lovers, they walk slowly beside my Lagan stream, holding hands and talking about their wildest dreams. Across the water laughter comes drifting through the night, dancing shadows ripple in the moonshine light. My Lagan, she flows softly from Slieve Crib down to the sea, through Drumore and Drumara, then flows to Achilles. From Lisburn down to Hilton, Lambeg and then Shaw's Bridge, to Belfast salty waters, where her lonesome journey ends. another song written by Noel McMaster. He came back to his native town, Lisburn, and found that this town had changed quite dramatically over the years. It has changed even more since Noel wrote the song. It's now a city. But this was really his look back at the changing face and the places that had disappeared from youth and that sort of thing. And this song is simply called The Winds of Change. Times have changed, old ways are going. The weaving mills are idle now. Thatched roofs, they slowly crumble with the winds of changing time. Gone the days of laughing street games. Take the bucket, hide and seek. Home from school, get off your good talks. Homeward time, oh it can wait. No more bleaching down at Glenmore. The old stone mill no longer seen. Modern houses stand deep rooted, where sheets of linen once had been. The old steam engine hissing southward, belting clouds of pure white steam. Lisburn station, disembarkation, where you'll find a difference. My old hometown is slowly changing, though Nicholson still stands alone. Bright new buildings growing round him, in the town where he did roam. Church Street is now deserted. Barnsley's Row is dead and gone. The ghost of Pipers will be parted to the place from whence he came. Times have changed, the ways are going. The weaving mills are idle now. Old-fashioned they slowly crumble with the winds of changing time. Gone the days of laughing street games. Kick the bucket, hide and seek. Home from school, get off your good talks. Homeward time, oh it can wait. Thank you. Are you all warm enough?
Yeah.
It's getting kind of hot up here.
I'll see what I can do about it.
Thank you, David.
Stick the aircon on.
Has anyone ever visited the lovely Mourne Mountains? Yeah, oh good, I'm glad to see there's some very cultured people here tonight. This next song is a traditional song that comes from the Mourne Mountains, and I learned this from a folk singing friend of mine, a guy called Colin McIlwaine from Bridge in County Down. Oh, somebody knows who he is, good stuff. Some people keep good company here, obviously, yeah. This is a traditional song, as I say, about a farmer's wife who doesn't seem to be a terribly pleasant character. And some of the words in this I've never understood. I must ask Colin sometime, for example, what the Indian yarns are and what the Yorams Yadio means, but I'm going to sing it anyway. This is the story of Mourne Maggie. There was a farmer in the west with the Yorams Yadio. He had a wife, she wasn't the best, and they called her Mourne Maggie. Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. She had 6 cows to milk and tide, me ordem, she tidy-o. She lay in bed till they all went dry, and they called her Morning Maggie-o. Morning Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. She went to the market some eggs to sell, me ordem, she tidy-o. She sucked the yolks and sold the shells, and I called her Morning Maggie-o. Morning Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. She joined her hands behind her neck, me ordem, she tidy-o. And she said her prayers to the broad of her back, and they called her Morning Maggie-o. Morning Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. She turned the butter in the old man's boot, with me ordem, she tidy-o. And she made the butter with the tongs and crook, and they called her Morning Maggie-o. Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. So if you come to County Down with me ordem, she tidy-o, you'll see that scrubber in Hilltown, you know she's born Maggie-o. Born Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. Born Maggie-o, one of the Indian Garners. I'm pleased to tell Colin next time I'm talking to him if people actually know who he is. He's known in Walsall and in Australia and a few other places as well, believe it or not. So we move now to Susan's hometown of Portadown. For those of you who don't know, Susan is my wife. And this song was written by a man who is actually still a neighbour of her parents, a singer and songwriter called Rodney Cordner. And he wrote this song during the troubles with young people leaving Northern Ireland and the effect that that was having on the country. This is a song called All of Our Children. All of our children are leaving. Some they go and forever will stay. For all the bold heroes of Ireland have managed to drive them away. Some they will leave for to study, but we never will see them back home. For the rest of their days they'll be strangers in a land that isn't their own. Sometimes you hear of a brain drain. People leave when opportunity calls, but we have been drained of our children because we'd rather build walls. All of our children are leaving. Some they go and forever will stay. For all the bold heroes of Ireland have managed to drive them away. And no matter how far they may travel, or wherever the work comes to hand, you can take the man from the bog, but you can't take the bog from the man. And whether it's a curse or a blessing, this mystical sense of place will draw back some who have left it, drive others to death and disgrace. All of our children are leaving. Some they go and forever will stay. For all the bold heroes of Ireland have managed to drive them away. Thank you.
Yeah.
Going now to another part of Northern Ireland for which I have great personal affection, and that's the county of Tyrone. I have a very good friend who's been a friend for many years, and I used to go and stay with him and his parents on their farm on a regular basis. We would go to the motorbike races and do all the other different things down there. And I made many good friendships in that part of the world. And the man who wrote this song is actually a Dubliner, but he decided to write a song about Tyrone. So, like myself, he's not a native of the place, but he clearly has a deep affection for it. And this mentions some of its best known towns and villages, and it's simply called Tyrone. You can travel far, far round this wondrous world, and mysteries and wonders you'll see. But I'll trade all this world for the place that I love, the place that is dearest to me. All the riches on earth sure can never compare to the friendly face and the smile. In your towns and your townlands, with your folks and your homes, there's nowhere that's dearer to me. And I'm going to start that again. I put it in the wrong key. Take it from the top again, okay? You can travel far, far round this wondrous world, and mysteries and wonders you'll see. But I'll trade all this world for the place that I love, the place that is dearest to me. All the riches on earth sure can never compare to a friendly face and a smile. In your towns and your townlands, with your folks and your homes, there is nowhere that's dearer to me. And it's Tyrone, that is my home. You'll always be with me wherever I roam. And it's Tyrone, Tyrone, I'll give you my heart and my home. It's the county of Tyrone. I live in a strange land I never call home, and Australia has been good to me. Though my children were born here, I'll take them back home, my own dear county to see. I'll take you back home to the place of my birth, to my cottage and farm by the stream, and the little old schoolhouse where I went to school in the happiest days that I've seen. And it's Tyrone, that is my home. You'll always be with me wherever I roam. And it's Tyrone, Tyrone, I'll give you my heart and my home. It's the county of Tyrone. I'll take you to Cookstown, to our home I love me, where the fishermen sport and they toil. Then we'll cross the mountains at Old Pomeroy, to Strabane on the banks of the Foyle. We'll wander the streets of brave old town, cross the hills at Old Carrickfergus, on to story Dungannon of legend and song. And it's there I will build you a home. And it's Tyrone, that is my home. You'll always be with me wherever I roam. And it's Tyrone, Tyrone, I'll give you my heart and my home. It's the county of Tyrone. I should read more carefully what I put down for my chord sequences and my keys as well. It's amazing what one fret with the capo, the difference that can make. So you can edit that first column, can't you?
They'll be on the bloopers at the end.
Good idea, yeah. I'll be all right in the night. We now move to the second city of Northern Ireland, Londonderry. Known to some, of course, as Derry. I call it Londonderry. The man who wrote this song would call it Derry. Of course, it depends over there, you know, as we say, what fruit you kick with. In other words, which community, which tradition you grew up in. Phil Coulter is a very talented songwriter. Anybody remember Puppet and String?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, he co-wrote those. He's also a great writer of folk songs. And Londonderry has seen its fair share of redundancy and unemployment over the years. And this is a song that he wrote about people being made redundant with the closure of a factory. It's called Yesterday's Men. 'Twas Joey the Weasel who gave us the wire. They were closing our factory down. Though he didn't believe it and we called him a liar, the redundancy letters came round. As we read them in silence, I choked back the tears. It was hard to believe after 20-odd years. Farewell, my companions, my friends, and my workmates. Farewell to the paydays, to the nights and the crack. We gave them our best years, now they paid us back by making us yesterday's men. By making us yesterday's men. We said our goodbyes by the factory gates one cold Friday evening last year. I saw it all there in the eyes of my mates, the anger, the sorrow, the fear. Like our fathers before us, we worked there with pride, and we fought back the bitterness burning inside. Farewell, my companions, my friends, and my workmates. Farewell to the paydays, the pence and the crack. We gave them our best years, now they paid us back by making us yesterday's men. By making us yesterday's men. Now Jimmy, says she, give the kids a few bob. After all, sure it is Friday night. But how could I tell her I was out of a job? From now on things were going to be tight. Oh, it's well I remember it cut like a knife. I was never a day on the dole in my life. Farewell, my companions, my friends, and my workmates. Farewell to the paydays, the pence and the crack. We gave them our best years, now they paid us back by making us yesterday's men. By making us yesterday's men. The machines now are idle, the workbench is bare. There's dust on the factory floor. They boarded the windows and chained up the gates and padlocked the factory door. Now I'm on the scrap heap and I'm 39, just one of the hundreds come down in my prime. Farewell, my companions, my friends, and my workmates. Farewell to the paydays, the pence and the crack. We gave them our best years, now they paid us back by making us yesterday's men. By making us yesterday's men. Thank you. Have you ever visited the lovely Northampton coast?
Yes.
People have been there. There's a place there called Dunluce Castle. It's an old ruined castle sitting right out on a headland. Back in the 16th century it was owned by a famous chieftain called Sorry Boy MacDonald. In the 1960s a group of young lads from County Antrim emigrated to Canada and formed a folk and country group. And they called themselves the Rovers. With a few changes of personnel over the years they're still going strong. But Will Miller from Ballymena wrote this particular song and he called it MacDonald's Raiders. The person who put it on YouTube made a mistake and called it McDonald's Raiders. So there have been all sorts of comments about fast food joints and animal rights protests. It has nothing whatsoever to do with either of these. But this is a tribute to Sorry Boy MacDonald and his Raiders from Dunluce Castle. castle towers o'er the billows that thunder by Antrim's green land, and there dwelt this gallanter rover that ever crossed sword in his hand. Well, its stately towers o'er the waters watched over the northern domain, and Sorry Boy and his raiders held the North Antrim coast in their name. And it's up with old Sorry MacDonald, Sorry Boy dauntless and free, as straight as the mast on his galley, as strong as the waves on the sea. The Saxons and clans of McIlwaine, they harried his lands with their powers. He gave them a taste of his cannon and drove them like wolves from his towers. The clan of McIlwaine sailed over their strong fleet to make him a slave. They met him off Old Port Spanner, and the sharks gnawed their bones beneath the waves. And it's up with old Sorry MacDonald, Sorry Boy dauntless and free, as straight as the mast of his galley, as strong as the waves on the sea. Long time in that old battered castle, or out on the waves with his band, he feasted and ventured and conquered, and unloosed would give in to no man. Well, he lived as a daring sea raider, and he died as a brave man should die. Now he sleeps at the old Bonnemargie, and the waves sing a dirge to the sky. And it's up with old Sorry MacDonald, Sorry Boy dauntless and free, as straight as the mast on his galley, as strong as the waves on the sea. Thank you. This is the last song now for the first half. So after that you can enjoy your refreshments and whatever else you have. Some of you of course are already enjoying some liquid refreshments, shall we say. So we come back to where we started, in a sense, to my hometown, Carrickfergus. And this is a song that I wrote about an imaginary young couple who emigrated to Canada in the 19th century. This was inspired by the fact that my grandfather, all his brothers, no, my grandfather, or my grandmother's brothers, I should say, on my father's side, were all sailors. So there was a bit of a fascination with the ships in those days. So this is about the young couple who emigrated and settled in Nova Scotia, and it's simply called Farewell to Carrickfergus. Across the broad Atlantic we'll go sailing one fine day, to the coast of eastern Canada, so many miles away. Our hearts are filled with hope, and our young love it is blind, on the shores of Nova Scotia, a new home we will find. Farewell to Carrickfergus, our families and our friends. You won't be hearing from us now until our journey ends. We bought a little farmstead by the road to Yarmouth town, on the shores of Nova Scotia. New roots we will lay down. It is with trepidation that we'll cross the waters wide, praying that we'll be kept safe upon the raging tide. Days and weeks will slowly pass, and then we'll sail no more, when we have reached the rugged cliffs of Nova Scotia's shore. We'll walk the streets of Halifax and see the city sights, marvel at the mystery of dark Cape Breton nights. We'll travel through New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island too, then gaze upon the wonders of the ocean vast and blue. Farewell to Carrickfergus, our families and our friends. You won't be hearing from us now until our journey ends. We bought a little farmstead by the road to Yarmouth town, on the shores of Nova Scotia. New roots we will lay down. The memory will stay with us of our own native land. Carrickfergus Castle, as majestic it does stand, beautiful green island and the towering Knocka Hill. You ask, will we come back again? Perhaps someday we will. The ship is being made ready in the harbour as we wait. The time has come to take our leave, for we cannot be late. We say, may God be with you, upon you His blessings pour, and guide us safely o'er the waves to Nova Scotia's shore. Farewell to Carrickfergus, our families and our friends. You won't be hearing from us now until our journey ends. We bought a little farmstead by the road to Yarmouth town, on the shores of Nova Scotia. New roots we will lay down, on the shores of Nova Scotia. New roots we will lay down. Thank you. Enjoy your supper, and I'll see you in half an hour's time. Well, we're now crossing the border into the Republic, and we're going to the lovely county of Donegal. Now, it's a bit of a paradox here. If you ask people in Northern Ireland, what are you doing at the weekend? I'm going down south. Oh, what part of the Republic are you going to? I'm going to Donegal. Well, then you're not going down south, you're going up northwest. Because Donegal is, of course, part of the ancient province of Ulster, but it's in the Republic and it's up in the northwest, not down south. So the first song is a traditional song that comes from Donegal. This is called The Rose of Arranmore. My thoughts today, though I'm far away, will on Tyrconnell shore. The salt sea air under Colleen's fair, a lovely green door. There's a flower there beyond compare, a treasure evermore. That grand Colleen in her gown of green, the rose of Arranmore. I've travelled far neath the northern stars since the day we said goodbye. Seen many maids in golden glades beneath the tropic sky. There's a vision in my reverie I always will adore. That grand Colleen in her gown of green, she's the rose of Armore. But soon I will return again to the scenes I loved so well, where many an Irish lad and lass their tales of love to tell. The silvery dunes and blue lagoons along the Ross shore, and that grand Colleen in her gown of green, the rose of Armore. That grand Colleen in her gown of green, the rose of Armore. Thank you. Down then from Donegal we go into Sligo, one of the lovely counties on the western side of Ireland. This song actually comes from the Orange tradition in the north, believe it or not, and it's about a place in the Republic. The island of Ireland can be a paradox, believe me. But this is a lovely song. It's called The Orange Maid of Sligo. On Benbulbin's wild and lofty heights, when the evening sun was setting bright, it shed a veil of goldy light along the bay of Sligo. A bonny bark with glancing oars and smiling sails was seen before the waves that pound the rocky shore along the bay of Sligo. And at the brow there sat a girl with rosy cheeks and glossy curls, a simple beauty like a pearl, the Orange Maid of Sligo. As leaning o'er that vessel's side, she saw along the waterside an orange lily's golden pride along the bay of Sligo. Oh haste, oh save that flower, I pride it more than rose or wine. No trader must take it to flaunt his power, the Orange Maid of Sligo. A bonny youth bent o'er the brow, he plucked that flower and made a vow, bestowed it on her gentle brow, the Orange Maid of Sligo. And soon she was his bonny bride, and oft times thought with joy and pride about the summer's evening time along the bay of Sligo. So come all true blues and fill your glass, a brighter toast shall never pass. So here's unto that bonny lass, the Orange Maid of Sligo. Thank you. This next song's again written by a man from Dublin, but it's about a place just on the outskirts of the city of Galway, a lovely spot, and it's become really one of the most famous Irish folk songs ever written over the last few years. It's sung at rugby matches, it's sung all over the world, and Susan and I have actually stood in these lovely places ourselves. I'm sure you've maybe heard of the fields of Athenry.
I like that one. Sing along.
Sing along if you know it. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling, Michael, they have might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies awaiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small furry birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. Now it's lonely around the fields of Athenry. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they cut me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small furry birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. Now it's lonely around the fields of Athenry. By a lonely harbour wall, she watched the last star falling. As the prison ship sailed out against the sky, now she'll live in hope and pray for her love in Bondi Bay. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small furry birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. Now it's lonely round the fields of Athenry. Oh, so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Well done yourselves. It was great to hear the backing vocals there. One of my major musical influences has been an old friend of mine from Banagher in County Offaly, a singer and songwriter called Johnny McIlwaine. He's written some great songs over the years, and it was difficult to pick something of his to actually sing tonight because there's so many good ones. But this is one I've always enjoyed singing, and it's called No Other Love I Know. I loved a girl one time when my life was in its prime, and the summer evenings seemed to have no end. In the garden we would walk where the rose and holly, their loveliness no jewel could transcend. She was young and she was fair, like an angel standing there, and her smile it could light up my darkest day. As she held me to her heart, I prayed we'd never part, but the weather turned and took me far away. So sleep, my lovely sleep, where the rippling waters meet, in the valley where the roan and chestnut grow, in that little cottage there, free from worry, free from care, till we meet again, no other love I'll know. On the oceans I've been tossed, stepped beneath the southern cross. I have stood upon the mountains of Peru, and of girls I've known my share, but there's none that can compare with the loveliness and beauty that is you. Now the years have come and gone, and my travelling days are done, and the sun is sinking slowly in the sky. Once again we'll take a walk by the rose and holly, and I'll love you as I did in days gone by. So sleep, my lovely sleep, where the rippling waters meet, in the valley where the roan and chestnut grow, in that little cottage there, free from worry, free from care, till we meet again, no other love I'll know. Meet again, no other love I know. Thank you. Have you ever been to the Ring of Kerry?
Yes.
Or Cork?
Yes.
County Clare, you've the lovely Burren country, you have the Ring of Kerry, you have Cork. I thought, I can't do a concert without including some of those places in the song. The problem was I wasn't sure which song to sing, so I thought, well, the best thing I can do then is write one. And I have to thank someone at church for this, because one evening at a meeting someone used the phrase sandcastles on the shore. I can't remember who it was, but if you're here tonight, well done, thank you very much for the inspiration. Because I immediately thought to myself, that's a song title. So this is my latest composition, which is set in that part of Ireland, and it's called Sandcastles on the Shore. I'm standing in the heart of Cork, down by the River Lee, reminiscing on the one who meant so much to me. I see the church spire standing in McCurtain Street today, so in that hallowed place for her, upon my knees I'll pray. Then over in the Mardyke I'll see her face once more, and I'll recall the time when we built sandcastles on the shore. I thought she was the one who would be mine forevermore, but all we ever did was build our sandcastles on the shore. I'll travel through the county, first to Cove and then Kinsale, where in the harbour shadow can be heard the seagulls wail. Atlantic waves are pounding along by Bantry Bay, where once we ran together at the dawning of the day. It was there she made the promise to be mine forevermore. And I looked in her eyes as we built sandcastles on the shore. I thought she was the one who would be mine forevermore. But all we ever did was build our sandcastles on the shore. Moving on to Kerry and Killarney's lakes so fair. Once again I'm breathing in the clear fresh mountain air. Heading on to Dingle, I will walk down by the bay, where we watched the fishermen had fun and sport and play. I never did imagine she would make my heart feel sore. My mind was full of dreams as we built sandcastles on the shore. I thought she was the one who would be mine forevermore. But all we ever did was build our sandcastles on the shore. A song is ringing in my ears, my lovely Rose of Clare. I crossed the county boundary, and once more I am back there. Thinking of our parting, how she said farewell to me, saying that in spite of love, she wanted to be free. The amazing barren landscape, Blackhead, the cliffs of Moher, remembering the last time we built sandcastles on the shore. I thought she was the one who would be mine forevermore. But all we ever did was build our sandcastles on the shore. I thought she was the one who would be mine forevermore. But all we ever did was build our sandcastles on the shore. Thank you, and I hasten to add that the female character in the song was purely a figment of my imagination. Just in case anybody's panicking.
Susan Smiley.
For those who were observant, did anybody notice in the previous song it mentioned gardens as well? So at least we had something to do with the gardening theme. Now, if our vicar were here with us this evening, I would dedicate this next song to her and her family. And when you hear the first line, you'll understand why. This song was written by the Furies, who are a set of brothers from Dublin. And they wrote this for the Clancy brothers, who are a set of brothers from Tipperary. And of course, the Clancy brothers added a northerner called Tommy Makem to their makeup, and back in the 60s became one of the best known Irish folk bands. This is one of my favourite Clancy brothers numbers. This is called Jennifer Gentle. Jennifer Gentle and Rosemary, what is deeper than the sea, and what is higher than the broad sky, as the dew falls over the mulberry tree. What has made my heart feel glad and turned my winters into springs, when all the world is so very sad? that Jennifer gentle brings. The sun shines on the ocean's folds, lovely silver and pure white gold, while weary gulls flock down to rest on the welcome folds of the ocean's breast. Love is deeper than the sea, Jennifer gentle and rosemary, and truth is higher than the broad sky as the dew falls over the mulberry tree. I'm going to do a change of plan for the next song. I'm not going to sing the song that's in front of me here. I think I know this particular song by heart, memory, so I'm going to give it a go anyway. Because we now reach the city of Dublin, and Pete St. John is one of Dublin's finest songwriters. He wrote The Fields of Athenry, and he also wrote this song I'm going to sing now. He was walking through Dublin one day along by the quays on the River Liffey, and he met an old school friend, a tinker lad called Danny Farrell, who had fallen in hard times and was drinking mess on the quay. He was only 40 years old, and Pete St. John was horrified by what he had turned into and how life really had treated him badly in so many ways. And so he wrote this song about him, and it's simply called Danny Farrell. I knew Danny Farrell when his football was a can, with his hand-me-downs and well-ears and sandwiches up ran. But now this pavement peasant is a full-grown bitter man, with all the trials and troubles of his travelling people's clan. He's a loser, a boozer, a me and you user, a raider, a trader, a people please hater, so lonely and only, what you'd call it, girlier still now, Danny Farrell. He's a man. I knew Danny Farrell when he joined the national school. He was lousy at the Gaelic, called him Mohammedan and fool. But he was brilliant in the toss school, or trading objects in the pawn. By the time he was an adult, all his charming ways were gone. And I knew Danny Farrell when he queued up for the dole, and he tried to hide the loss of pride that eats away the soul. Mending pots and kettles is a trade lost in the past. There's no handouts here for tinkers, was the answer when he asked. He's a loser, a boozer, a me and you user, a raider, a trader, a people please hater, so lonely and only, what you'd call a girlier still now, Danny Farrell. He's a man. I still know Danny Farrell, saw him just there yesterday, drinking methylated spirits with some winos on the quay. He's 40 going on 80, with his eyes of hope bereft and he told me this for certain, there's not many of us left. There's lots of Danny Farrells all about the place, broken folk with little hope, it shows upon their face. And do we understand them? I seldom think we try, but for the grace of God, it could be you or I. He's a loser, a boozer, a me and you user, a raider, a traitor, a people please hater, so lonely and only what you'd call a Gertie her still now. Danny Farrell, he's a man. Thank you very much, and at last we have come to the end of our journey. We remain in Dublin for the final song. Susan and I used to spend a lot of time around Dublin in our youth, and that was one of the ideas I got for this song, to do something about an imaginary trip from one side of Dublin to the other. I always dedicate this song to a man who gets an honourable mention in it. Those of you who are folk music fans will know who I'm talking about. Another of my musical influence is one of my favourite singers, the late Luke Kelly of the Dubliners. So this is a song, as I say, we start in Dunleary and end up in Howth on the other side of the city. Walking most of the way and then jumping in the dark because we're too tired to walk the rest of the distance. For those who don't know, the Dart's the Dublin area rapid transit. It's the electric train that goes across Dublin. Dublin is a great public transport system if you're ever there. So this song is simply called Darkness Fell Over Dublin. We strolled along Dunleary's pier, 3/4 of a mile, thinking we were hard to beat for confidence and style. We were much younger then, so full of hopes and schemes. The rages of time had not yet stolen all our dreams. With the moonlight shining down on the leafy waters fair, darkness fell over Dublin and love was in the air. Through Blackrock and through Britterstown we wandered on our way, paused a while on Raglan Road where the poet used to lay, down by the Grand Canal and into Stephen's Green. I thought that I could rule this place and you would be my queen. With the moonlight shining down on the leafy waters fair, darkness fell over Dublin and love was in the air. I heard the guitar player along by Marion Row, singing songs Luke Kelly sang in days of long ago. We started off again, wondering who we'd meet, as we passed by the Shelbourne on our way to Grafton Street. With the moonlight shining down on the leafy waters fair, darkness fell over Dublin and love was in the air. Beside the Hackney Bridge we stood with traffic moving slow, casting down our glances at the murky depths below. And in O'Connell Street, in spite of drops of rain, a pleasure to see Cleary's and the Gresham once again, with the moonlight shining down on the Liffey waters fair. Darkness fell over Dublin and love was in the air. We travelled out by dark to Howth to stand upon the head, looking all around us at the purple heather bed. We gazed across the bay in the stillness of the night. The towers down at Ringsend reflected in the Bailey's light, with the moonlight shining down on the Liffey waters fair. Darkness fell over Dublin and love was in the air, with the moonlight shining down on the Liffey waters fair. Darkness fell over Dublin and love was in the air. Thank you.
First, big thank you to Colin for this evening's entertainment. But don't you think we ought to ask him for an encore? Yeah. I think we should. Are you prepared for an encore?
Are you paying me for it?
No!
Yes, so. Yes, I'll do one more song, okay? Thank you for coming along this evening. It's great to see so many people here. I was thinking to myself earlier on, there must be much to do in Walsall on a Saturday night. It's great to have your support, and of course we're here for a very good cause, for the community garden. So, this song I'm going to sing now takes us back to Northern Ireland again, and it was inspired by the events of May 2007. Two men appeared on television beside each other with smiles on their faces. I'm sure people might wonder, why did two men standing on television with smiles on their faces inspire somebody to write a song? Well, one of the men was called Ian Paisley, and the other was called Martin McGuinness. Those of us who grew up through the Troubles never imagined for one moment that those two men would be standing beside each other with smiles on their faces. But it was really a pivotal turning point in the history of Northern Ireland. So it inspired me to write this song, which says basically, you know, I grew up in one tradition in Northern Ireland, other people grew up in the other tradition. And we both keep our tradition, we're proud of our traditions, but that doesn't mean we can't move forward and work together. Excuse me a sec. So it's really my prayer for my native country. And the song is called Peace in Our Time. And it was written about and for Northern Ireland, but tonight I also want to dedicate it to the people of Ukraine. So this is Peace in Our Time. O Lord above, give back to us the reason and the rhyme. Upon our knees we ask that you will bring peace in our time. The troubles raged across our land for more than 30 years, and life was blighted every day with violence, death and fear. words are silent now, a ceasefire has begun. It seems this time that common sense a victory has won. O Lord above, give back to us the reason and the rhyme. Upon our knees we ask that you will bring peace in our time. Along the falls on Craigan's heights and down in Crossmaglen, they often sing their rebel songs of those bold Fenian men. In Waterside on Shankill Road is heard the drums' loud crash. They drive the marching bands along to echoes of the sash. O Lord above, give back to us the reason and the rhyme. Upon our knees we ask that you will bring peace in our time. Ardoyne's curbs are painted in their gold and white and green, with slogans that adorn the walls of 19 and 16. In Sandy Row the banners fly in red and white and blue. Remember 1690 and its no surrender too. O Lord above, give back to us the reason and the rhyme. Upon our knees we ask that you will bring peace in our time. A sense of hope now fills the air, and smiles replace the frown. It's there in Enniskillen and across Enola town. We both have our traditions, but together we must stand to build a better future and walk forward hand in hand. Please join me in the last chorus. O Lord above, give back to us the reason and the rhyme. Upon our knees we ask that you will bring peace in our time. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless.